Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, Joe Biden apparently, according to some people, mainly on the left, is surging right now. And Republicans need to panic. We hear this over the past week or so. We've heard it a lot. And is this really the case? No. Should we be complacent? Obviously not. I talked about this in the last video, that complacency is not optimism. Complacency kills. And while that's 100% true, on the other hand, it seems like you have a lot of delusion on the other side that is kind of spinning a narrative of demoralization in the Trump camp, and we need to kind of shut that down right now because it's just not real. Joe Biden is not surging. We hear this all the time. I am going to go through 5 pieces of evidence that they try to claim shows Biden surging, and we're going to go through it, and we're going to take it down, and we're going to debunk it. So they will say that Biden's approval rating is recovering, but the data doesn't show it. Biden is not being more liked. He just had his State of the Union. Usually that's an opportunity for a president to make their case in a more bipartisan fashion to the American people to try and win over some independent voters. But Biden did anything but, and his approval rating actually went down after the State of the Union. He's polling below 40%. At the beginning of the month, he was polling close to 41%. His approval rating's gone down by a point. His disapproval rating has also gone up by about a point as well. He's down by nearly 17%. And you compare that to the last president with, a successful re-election bid. Obama, he was underwater. He recovered, but he was at 47.7%. Bush was at 49.2%. Trump was at 47.2%. Joe Biden is down there below 40 percentage points, and we're 7 months away from the election. That is never a position that you want to be in as a president, and once again, there's absolutely zero surge. Up next, we will hear that Biden is gaining in some polls, because it is technically true that Trump's lead in RCP has gone down. However, it's gone down from 2% on March 1st, and now it's currently sitting at 1%. That's not a surge. That's not a surge at all. A lot of this comes from the Quinnipiac pollster, which shows Trump losing by 3, but the last poll that they released was in January, and it showed Donald Trump losing by 6. Quinnipiac is typically a pollster that does lean left, and even though you have some polls tightening technically, like Harvard-Harris that showed Trump up by 6, he's up by 2, or Harris-X, which showed Trump up by 4, now it's a dead heat, even though Trump, leads in both of these polls by more than what it's showing when you add in RFK Jr., who's likely going to be on the ballot in a lot of states. Still, you see other polls like Fox News where Trump goes up from, a 2-point lead to a 5-point lead. He's tightening in Quinnipiac, which is a good sign for him. He's expanding his lead in YouGov. Plenty of other pollsters that aren't even released on RCP show him gaining. So at the end of the day, it's like, is Biden really surging, or are some polls just tightening because they were showing results that were not really sustainable? Also, Rasmussen, which was a very Trump-heavy pollster, has also fallen out of the aggregate, which is also likely giving Biden a little bit of a boost. So he's not really gaining in the national polls either. In fact, he's at 45% as an incumbent president. He's been hovering around 44 to 45% for quite some time. Trump's lead, it's gone up to 3 or 4 for a brief period of time, but also, he's mainly in the 1 to 2 percentage range, and Biden could still win the popular vote by 2 to 3 points and lose the election. He's going to have to win it by 4 to, be certain that he's got a decent shot at victory in the Electoral College, which brings us to point number 3 that they will point to, the state polls. But are the state polls tightening either? We'll look at Pennsylvania. Donald Trump actually took the lead in Pennsylvania this month, but somehow it's over, we hear, because the Bloomberg pollster tightened, which was Trump by, a couple points. Now it's tied. Whatever. Big deal. Pollsters give different results. This is going to be a very close state regardless, but still, they'll also point to the Susquehanna pollster, which kind of has old data, but still, it showed Biden up by 5 but the map of results didn't make sense. It's only 450 voters in the sample, and even then their previous pollster showed Biden winning by 8. And Trump leads in Pennsylvania. He leads in every state. Michigan, the polls really haven't tightened. We've seen one or two pollsters like Bloomberg this month, the latest round of polls, which again were from a couple of weeks ago. They are showing a tightening race, but you have other pollsters that are showing Trump taking the lead, expanding the lead. Even the aforementioned Quinnipiac in March, what did they show in Michigan? Trump up by 3. That's kind of unheard of. I think that's their first lead for Trump in Michigan ever in that poll. So Trump is up in Michigan. He's up in Arizona by over 5 points. He's up in Georgia by over 5 points. And it is true he was leading by like 7, but honestly, some of that was unsustainable given current trends and polarization. Trump is still in a very good position in all of the swing states. There's really nothing else to it. And then they talk about the economy, which, again, is Biden's approval rating on the economy going up? Not really. It is going up among partisan Democrats. They're saying the economy is doing better because those are the people that are buying the gaslighting. But when you look into it, among independent voters, the latest YouGov pollster shows that like over 50% say the economy is getting worse for them. That's not a good look for Biden, and it might be a sign that he's hitting a ceiling in regards to the economy. You're not really seeing a recovery for a lot of people. You're kind of seeing a K-shaped recovery. You have no net new jobs that have been created during this administration that went to native-born Americans. And still, while inflation is coming down, that's like saying, well, the fat guy who's morbidly obese only gained 10 pounds this past month. It's like, yeah, you're not really undoing the problem, even if some people, mainly partisan Democrats, will come around. But those people largely were going to end up voting for Joe Biden anyways. So that's that. And the other piece of evidence we hear is, oh, well, there was a special election in Alabama and Democrats won it by a lot. That means that Trump is doomed. And Democrats did win a special election in the state of Alabama by like 27 points in a district that Donald Trump won by 1%. But still, special elections, A, have very low turnout, and B, they're more localized. The outgoing Republican state rep was scandal-plagued, and even he endorsed the Democrat in this race. And also you have the whole IVF abortion thing in Alabama. That's energizing Democrats to turn out, but still, turnout was super low. I mean, this seat very well could flip back in November. At least it's going to be a lot closer than it was when you look at it. But people are like, oh, well, this means that Trump is cooked because these are real election results and not polls. But if you want to play that game, play that game. But this is one cherry-picked special election. We could do the same thing. Special elections this year have been completely all over the place. And Republicans have been outperforming in Virginia, in Florida, in New Hampshire, in Georgia. There was an election in Minnesota where Republicans outperformed by 25 percentage points last week, a week before this Alabama election. Nobody ever wanted to talk about it, but Republicans have actually been overperforming Trump's 2020 margin in special elections this year, over 20 special elections, by an average of 4.5%. So to say that special elections in Alabama, this means that Trump is finished, no, it doesn't. People that are claiming that just aren't looking at the nuanced reality. Now, is there a potential for Biden to somehow win out of nowhere? Yes, there is. But is he surging right now? No. Should we be worried that Biden is raising a lot of money? Yeah, we do need to combat that, but still, when you're that unpopular, it's going to be very difficult for you to spend your way to popularity, but that's why we need to get out, get involved, make sure that we get everybody voting that possibly can, so whatever they try to throw at us doesn't matter at the end of the day. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.